Tonight, we're cracking open Ben Holladay Rickhouse Proof. That worked. Welcome to the show. Do you know it took me 3 times to spin that cap off? Ben Holladay, 6-year Missouri Straight Bourbon Whiskey, Rickhouse Proof. Now, I've been a fan of the Ben Holladay Standard Bourbon and their soft red wheat. You can see I've already been tackling that pretty good. I love the bourbon. I love the price point. In fact, we got a little bit of it right here, so we're going to do a little treat. This has become one of my favorite 6-year bourbons. As much as I like the Bibb & Tucker, I think I actually like the Ben Holladay better. Don't get me wrong, I'm not getting rid of my Bibb & Tucker. I've got backups of it. But the Ben Holladay, it's a different flavor, different profile, but I do love it. So when they came out with this Rickhouse Proof, which, you know, I'm not a big fan of cask strength, so as long as it doesn't get above 120, I'll drink it pretty regularly. When it gets above 120, that's a special occasion. You know, I've got to kind of prepare my palate for that. This is right at 120.1, so right on the cusp there of being, for me, hazmat. I just don't drink the 125, 130. It's just not it's not my jam. 100 to 115 most times. But we're going to find out. Maybe I like this, and there's no burn on the back of the throat. If we go to holladaybourbon.com and then click on their Distiller's Journal, I really love how Ben Holladay has done this. You can get a lot of information about this bourbon. I'm looking at the Ben Holladay Bourbon August 2023. Distilled 2016 barrel selection Rickhouse C, number of barrels 145, and they tell you what floors they're from, and that seems to, it matches right up with what you see on the bottle. So even if you didn't know with a website, they tell you exactly what floors most of the bourbon came from. In their notes, they talk about how they distilled it, how they bottled it, and their inspiration. I'll just read this one paragraph they've got in here. It says, "We discussed the origin of releasing the Rickhouse Proof bourbon on our podcast, but this product was always sold exclusively at our distillery. It became pretty clear early on that there was a demand for this full-flavored bourbon out in the market, and this August release was designed with that in mind." Now, you go through there and they really don't tell you a lot more about the Rickhouse Proof, other than the fact that it's not basically diluted to get it to the proof that, for example, the Bottled-in-Bond is at, which is at 100. So let's see, we don't really have any notes on it, so we're just going to wing it. Let's see what it smells like. And really, you know, at 120 proof, I really don't pick that up in the aroma. I get a lot of molasses, brown sugar, and a little bit of spice. A lot of vanilla. Very sweet smelling. Cheers. That is delicious. That is this magnified. I get the same kind of flavors, just more intense. So I get more flavor, more spice, more sweetness, and of course more proof. Wow, that is nice. Just looking in the glass at the color. Very nice. Let's take another sip. That is as good as any of the cask strength bourbons I've got on the shelf. I mean, it's delicious. It's got a perfect balance of sweetness, a little bit of dark fruit going on there. You got a little bit of oak. You got the baking spices. Got a little bit of Kentucky hug going on, but not too heavy. Rolls in, rolls out. Very nice. I am thoroughly impressed with this 6-year Rickhouse Proof. I don't know why they just don't call it cask strength or barrel proof. I mean, clearly, it's full flavored bourbon, you know, pretty much right out of the cask, right out of the barrel as far as I can tell. They do blend the bourbons from the different floors to give it a flavor or consistency, which is kind of different, obviously, than from a single barrel. But I can tell you, this tastes as good as a lot of single barrels. You know, single barrels are supposed to be like the top of the cream, the best in a Rickhouse, the best on the floor. Someone's gone around and said, oh, this barrel's good, this barrel's good, that barrel's good. Well, Ben Holladay has figured out how to take different barrels from different floors and give it a single barrel flavor, in my opinion. This is as good as any cask strength barrel proof single barrel I have on the shelf. I mean, obviously I'm not saying it's the best, but I'm saying it's as good as any of the ones back there, and in a lot of cases twice the price. Let's take another sip and go to final thoughts. Final thoughts. Well, while I was off camera, I did take a sip of the Bottled-in-Bond, and I immediately thought, I'm tasting the ethanol more in the Bottled-in-Bond than I actually do the Rickhouse Proof. Now I'm talking a very slight taste. I'm talking a very slight taste. A taste I wouldn't have identified had I not compared the two side by side. The Rickhouse Proof drinks lower than its actual proof. It drinks to me more like a 110, 111. My cask strength Maker's Mark and my cask 111 Chattanooga. This doesn't drink any hotter than either one of those. It's very easy on the throat, easy on the palate. You get a little Kentucky hug going on there, but does not drink at its proof point. Not at all. I'm impressed. It's not that much higher really than I feel like the 100. And you get more sweetness, you get more intensity of flavor, and you get a slight more bit of proof. Interesting. I'm trying to remember what I paid for that. I'm thinking this is around $90 on the general market. I think when I first saw it, it was maybe a few dollars more. So 90-ish is probably the price you're going to find it for. I'll find that and put that on the bottom of the screen of what it is in North Georgia. Should you pay $100, more than $100? No. This is a good bourbon. It is a 6-year-old bourbon. It is 120 proof. It's not a limited release in the fact that it's only going to come out once a year. I think, from all indications, that Ben Holladay is going to be keeping this on the shelf. I don't see anything about that. Now, there'll be new versions every year coming out. If you go to their website, and they talk about different releases, and I'm sure the next release will be a little different because the way they blend their bottles and different years, just like wines, it's going to be a little different from year to year. But this is absolutely, I think, a good value for what you're getting. Not a great value. A great value would be, what, for me, $59, $49? You're not going to find that in this Ben Holladay, but even if it's $79, if you can find it for that, $89, I still recommend this fine Rickhouse Proof bourbon. Now I'm going to have to go get the soft red wheat, because I like the soft red wheat standard, but I have other wheated bourbons I like better, so I really don't drink that much. Now I'm wondering if this is what their Rickhouse does for that, what would the Rickhouse do for the soft red wheat? There's a good question I need to answer. So, value for the money, good, not great. That brings us to our recommendation system, 1 through 5. 1 being, go out, get it right now, stop the video. 3 o'clock in the morning, go and get it right now. Well, it's not 3 o'clock in the morning in the studio here, and I don't think you need to go and get it right now. I do think it is a solid number 2. It should be your next purchase if, and I'm going to qualify this, if you've tried their standard Bottled-in-Bond. I'd recommend you try that first. If you like that flavor profile, you're going to love the Rickhouse Proof. If you don't, and I can get the standard Bottled-in-Bond for around $50. If you don't like that flavor, if you don't like Missouri bourbon, then don't waste your money getting the Rickhouse Proof, because the Rickhouse Proof is just a magnification of the Bottled-in-Bond, in my opinion. So, solid number 2, I think it should be your next purchase if you like Ben Holladay. So, please like this video, comment and share, and hit that subscribe button, and please consider becoming a member of our channel. We're doing a lot more things on the member content side that I think you're going to want to see. So, as always, never drink and drive. Please drink responsibly, and we'll see you next time. I'm going to try this one more time. Tonight, we're cracking open Ben Holladay Rickhouse Proof.